Yeah, and it's funny. You prompted something in my head that we didn't think about before the podcast. And I'm going to talk about our financial superhero who we've mentioned on different podcasts before. But I remember him telling me a story when he bought his first co-op or condo. He looked very closely and did a lot of research. He did exactly what you talked about. And the net result was that he was in a beautiful one bedroom uh, co op or a condo in New York City. And he figured out and he looked at the research and he looked at the numbers very closely. And the building he was in had a parking garage and had a supermarket and had other retail attached to the property. And what he found was that even though the maintenance was high on a monthly basis, typically it had a track record for the last 3 months of the year of the board waiving maintenance because they had so much profit coming in from the other revenue streams from the parking garage and from the supermarket, that the net effect was his maintenance was much lower year over year. Yeah. Yeah, he did his homework, and like I said, we're never going to get him on this podcast, but he is somebody that we would want to talk to. But it is funny that back then he figured that out. He knew what to look for in terms of buying. So I'm going to focus on, that a bit of advice you touched upon, but really enforce it. Do your research, ask your questions. Don't rely completely on your realtor. You have to do some of this stuff yourselves. And if you're looking, make sure you're asking these types of questions and doing this type of research. I would have never thought to look at stuff like that, but look at the financials of your condo. Are they keeping up in terms of cost of living increases, in terms of raising your maintenance? What has the maintenance been for the last 10 years? Has it been stagnant? Some people might see that as a positive. I could tell you it's a huge negative because they're not keeping enough money in arrears. Look at how much is in savings for the condo or the co-op. How much do they have put away? Because inevitably things break, things go wrong. I could tell you my mother and father moved into a co-op, and the timing must have been perfect because another good friend of mine, his parents moved into the same co-op. And they both moved in, they both loved it until things started happening. The age of the co-op, they needed new terraces. They had a problem with the elevators. They had a problem with the roof. They got to a point where the assessment was becoming so out of control. I could tell you right now, both my mother sold her unit and my friend, his family, sold their unit to get out. And they had a tough time selling the units because the price of the maintenance was going so high. Over the course of 3 years, I think it almost doubled. And then assessments on top of that. So be careful. I know it's tough, but I know we're painting the scary picture, and it's not meant to scare anybody. But just like we always try to point out, learn from our mistakes, learn from others that we know their mistakes, and keep your eyes wide open.